A few weeks ago, I came out with a video about the first 5 of my top 10 best condo buildings in downtown Toronto. Well, this is part 2. In this video, I'm going to cover the next 5 condos that I think do form that top 10 list of condos. Again, I'm only going to be focusing on buildings located in downtown Toronto. So that would be anything south of Bloor, east of Dufferin, and then west of the DVP. If you think there's a condo that I don't mention that you think should be on this list, leave it in the comment section below and mention why, and vice versa. If there's one I mentioned that you think should definitely not be on there, also let me know in the comment section below. I'm in and out of condos showing clients units every single week, and that's how I've determined which condos end up on this list, but I haven't actually lived in all these buildings myself, so I'm making this list based on what I've seen so far and recommendations from other people who have lived there. What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Fady Nakhla. I'm a real estate broker here in Toronto. If you get any value at all from this type of content and you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're thinking about making a move here in the city and want to book a one-on-one appointment with me to have a chat about how I can help, I have all my contact information in the description below and I'd be more than happy to chat. Now let's get right into it. Just like I did in part 1, we're going to be looking at a few criteria for each building. We're going to be looking at the developer, the price per square foot, the maintenance fee, the location, and then lastly, the investment potential. So how fast units are selling and what the average rent is. Again, we're just looking at units downtown Toronto. This list will be in no particular order and is again 100% my opinion. So the first one on our list today is 1 Market Street, also known as 1 Market Wharf. This condo building was built about 10 years ago by a developer known as Condos Development. They're definitely not one of the more talked about or known builders, but they do have a lot of successful projects all across Toronto. One of their more recognized ones probably being Tip Top Lofts, which is located right on Lakeshore. This building is located at the intersection of Front Street East and Lower Jarvis. So you're a little bit more east than some of the other condos that I've talked about in part 1. I personally really like this location. Your steps from both St. Lawrence Market and Union Station. You're also really close to Scotiabank Arena and the financial district, as well as Harbourfront going south. And you're really close to the Gardiner as well if you want to be near the highway. The building itself is 34 stories high with about 350 units total. The price per square foot here is a little bit higher than the average of St. Lawrence condos, sitting currently at just under $1,200 per square foot. But the maintenance fee here is really good in this building, currently at 66 cents per square foot, and that does include both heat and water. The units in this building sell on average in about 32 days, which is pretty good in our current market, and the average rent is $4.42 per square foot. If you do want to be a little bit more east, but not quite at the Distillery District, then this is definitely one you'll want to check out. For our next condo, we're going to stick to the east end around the St. Lawrence area, and we're talking about 88 Scott. This building was built by Concert Developments back in 2018. And again, I really like the location. The building is located right at the corner of Yonge and Wellington, and you're really only steps away from the King subway station, steps away from the financial district, and again, right next to St. Lawrence Market. The building is a little bit on the taller end. It's 58 stories high and has about 520 units total, ranging from studio apartments all the way to 2+ den units. Find that a lot of the newer condo developments will try to cram as many bedrooms as they can into the smallest space possible, so you'll sometimes have 2 or even 3 bedrooms, sometimes in like a 600 or 700 square foot unit. Although 88 Scott is only 6 years old, which I'd say is relatively new, that is definitely not the case here at all, with some of their 2-bedroom units being as large as 1,200 square feet. The building also has very nice amenities such as a gym, indoor pool, and a rooftop deck. Price wise, when you're looking at this building, you can expect to pay around $11.80 per square foot, which is again on the higher end for the St. Lawrence area, and the maintenance fees are currently sitting at 82 cents per square foot and do not include water or heat. The units here do sell fairly quickly, a little bit faster than average at 23 days on the market, and the average rent is $4.52 per square foot. which again, because there are some bigger units, you'll sometimes have a 1-bedroom or 1+den units renting for as high as $3,000 per month. Since this building is only 6 years old, it is again not rent controlled, meaning you can increase the rent year after year by however much you'd like. You don't have to stick to the city guidelines. Next on our list is the Pier 27 condos. This is a complex of 3 buildings that came out in a few phases, and it was built by Citizen Development. So the first 2 towers, 29 and 39 Queens Quay, were built about 9 years ago in 2015 and are actually connected on the 12th floor. And then the last phase, which is 15 Queens Quay, was built just about 2 years ago. That being said, you'll find that the average price per square foot does go up as you move into the newer building. In total, there's about 1,200 units, but again, they are spaced out among 3 different buildings, so it's not too bad. Location-wise, you're located right at the intersection of Queens Quay East and Yonge Street, so you're really right in the heart of downtown's waterfront neighborhood. You're really close to St. Lawrence Market, the financial district, and Union Station, and then you're obviously right on the harbor front as well. One cool thing I do like about this complex is the first 2 towers, 29 and 39 Queens Quay, are only about 14 stories each, which is nice, and then almost every unit does come with 10-foot ceilings, 9 being the standard, and it really does make a big difference. Another cool thing about these condos is the way they're positioned. Unless you own one of the units that have a northern exposure, your unit will most likely have some sort of lake views. Obviously, there are some that are better than others, directly overlooking the lake to the south, but even with an east or west view, the way the balconies are positioned, you will be able to see some of the lake, and they also do have a nice courtyard in between the buildings as well. Price-wise, units in the newer building of the complex sell for around $1,300 per square foot, and then units in the previous 2 phases sell for around $1,150 to $1,200 per square foot. In terms of the maintenance fees, the 2 older towers are at about 80 cents per square foot and do include water and heat, and then the newest tower is at about 78 cents per square foot, so it's a little bit lower, but only includes the heat, not water. On average, units in this condo complex sell in about 28 days, which is pretty solid, and rent-wise, they do rent for $4.71 per square foot, which is definitely on the higher side. For our next condo, we're going back to the entertainment district, and I'm talking about Theater Park, located at 224 King Street West. This building was completed in 2015 by Brad Lamb Development and is located in the King West neighborhood, right at the intersection of King Street West and Simcoe. This building is and will continue to be one of my favorite condos here in Toronto. If you're not familiar with it, you probably have seen it. It's the one with the angled glass window panels on the bottom and then the crisscross beams all the way to the top. The building is 47 stories high and has about 230 units in total. Location-wise, Theater Park is 10 out of 10. You're right next to the Royal Alexander Theatre and Roy Thompson Hall. There's tons of bars and restaurants in the area. If you walk south a little bit, you're at the Rogers Centre and CN Tower. You walk east a few minutes and you're at Scotiabank Arena and the Financial District. If you're looking for public transit, you have both east and westbound streetcars right outside the front door, and St. Andrew Station just a few minutes walk if you need to get on the subway. It really is in the center of downtown Toronto. In terms of the units themselves, all very modern loft style suites with exposed concrete ceilings and walls, floor to ceiling windows, and then every unit does come with hardwood floors as well. For amenities, you have a fitness center, party room, and then a rooftop outdoor pool and terrace. Okay, now let's talk price. The units here are not cheap, currently selling for around $1,300 per square foot, but they are honestly worth the value in terms of the location and the finishes in the units. Maintenance fees in this building are around 83 cents per square foot and do include both water and heat. The units in this condo sell fairly quickly, with the average days on market at about 21 days. And units in this building do rarely go up for sale. You get about 5 to 10 sales per year, depending on the market, so there's definitely an ongoing demand for them. Rent wise, the suites rent for pretty high at about $5.10 per square foot. So it's not uncommon to see some 1+10 units renting for as high as $3,200 or $3,300 per month. For the last condo on our list, I'm going to go with 25 Lower Simcoe or Infinity Phase 4. This was the final phase in a set of buildings built by the Conservatory Group that included 19 and 30 Grand Trunk Crescent and then 51 Lower Simcoe. This building was the last of the 4 and it was built just about 8 years ago. Location wise, I do love this area. It's located by the intersection of Bremner and Lower Simcoe, so you're really in between the financial district and the entertainment district, and then you also have Harborfront just a few minutes south of you as well. The units themselves do have nice finishes and you do get a little bit more of the more traditional floor layouts or floor plans. You'll usually see that one wall for the kitchen that is very clean and very modern, but it's not as functional. Well, all the kitchens in this building do come with either an island or a peninsula, so you do have a little bit more counter space for cooking. If you do get a unit that has western exposure, which I would pay a premium for, you'll get full unobstructed views of Roundhouse Park and the CN Tower as well, which will always be there and never really go away. This building also does have direct path access, which cuts into Maple Leaf Gardens, so you have direct access to that Longo's and LCBO, and then if you keep going, also access to Union Station. In terms of amenities, there are tons of them. You have an indoor pool, gym, games room, rooftop deck, and then my personal favorite, a basketball court, which you don't really see as often in these condos. The price per square foot in this building is pretty reasonable, sitting currently at $10.90 per square foot. The maintenance fees are 86 cents per square foot and do include both heat and water, and are the lowest of the 4 buildings in this complex. The condo units here sell fairly quickly, with the average days on market at about 17 days, and the current rent is $4.49 per square foot. So there you have it, part 2 of my top 10 condos in downtown Toronto. Remember, these are in no specific order, and again, this is 100% my opinion. If you haven't already, you can go check out part 1 right here. Thank you again for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you think that I missed any buildings. And as always, if you do want to reach out to me to talk about anything real estate, my contact information is all in the description below. I'll see you guys on the next one.